Why do we love Doctor Who so much that it practically makes our heads explode? To mark the recent 57th anniversary of the show, I did a live stream during which I gave 5 of the reasons why I love Doctor Who. Now, you can head off and watch the full 2-hour live stream if you want. It was a blast, but I thought you also might want to have the option of hearing my reasons for loving Doctor Who in edited form so that you can compare them to your own reasons, and we can talk about them downstairs in the comments. I'm Jason Arnopp, a writer of Doctor Who fiction and non-fiction alike, as well as my own novels. If you're interested in any of that stuff, you can find details down there in the video description. But let's get on and hear the 5 reasons that I gave for loving Doctor Who during that anniversary live stream. So, when I was a kid, I loved Doctor Who, and I also loved Star Wars and Star Trek. But as I went into adulthood, well, physically if not mentally, Star Wars and Star Trek have not stuck with me. I'm not, I appreciate them and their legacy, and I'm sure all the stuff is very good, but I'm just not really that interested. Whereas I'm still obsessed with Doctor Who, as you might be able to tell from this channel. In my mind, Doctor Who is a horror show. It's not a sci-fi show. I mean, obviously it is, but to me, first and foremost, it's a horror show, and I think that's why I love it. Doctor Who is unique in that way because Doctor Who is a crazy show. Doctor Who is deranged. Doctor Who is all about death and people getting possessed and, murdered. There is no other show like it. Doctor Who is a prime-time, mainstream horror show.
I am the servant of Sutek. He needs no other.
And it got me into horror. I swear. I mean, I might have got into horror through other means, through horror movies perhaps, but I think Doctor Who was the gateway drug, in as much the same way that Europe and Bon Jovi were the gateway drugs to me getting into thrash metal. So obviously I love Doctor Who and I love horror films, and, it's all part of the same horror universe. I think part of the reason why we all probably love Doctor Who is that it represents total freedom. The Doctor, I mean, obviously, unless he or she is locked up, is absolutely free. The Doctor can go anywhere in time and space, and you literally can't get more free than that.
Have you ever thought what it's like to be wanderers in the 4th dimension? Have you?
There are no boundaries to the Doctor, unless he's trying to find Gallifrey or something. I mean, obviously writers have to kind of curtail the Doctor's freedom from time to time to make it a bit more interesting. But at its root, Doctor Who is about total freedom, and that is really appealing. We get to kind of share in that freedom with the Doctor, don't we? Yeah. Number 3 is that the Doctor represents, in my opinion, the best of humanity. We know, I mean, obviously he's not human, well, unless...
I'm half human on my mother's side.
But yeah, the Doctor represents the best in us, doesn't he? Or she. There's something really uplifting about that, because it reminds you that people can be really good, and the Doctor is always kind of rooting for us humans as well, possibly because the Doctor knows that, we do ultimately, well, most of us have some good in us. Quite simply, monsters. That's a pretty obvious one, isn't it?
Get Sergeant Benton, quick!
Love monsters so much. I mean, the Doctor Who monster book. Yeah, I made a video about this. I've made quite a lot of videos, haven't I, already? But, this sums up. This is like this is like the Ark of the Covenant for me in terms of why I love Doctor Who. I mean, these images, yeah, this is the first edition that I ever had. Love it so much. It's great. Just all this stuff. We could go to any page at random and look at that. That's classic, isn't it? That's iconic. That's Doctor Who. There's those Yeti. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty cool, aren't they? Yeah, look at that. You wouldn't want to bump into that Yeti in a dark alleyway, would you? Or even a really well lit one. One more. Oh, look at that. Marvelous. I mean, the other side of monsters in Doctor Who is that, the monsters kind of represent fear of the unknown, don't they? But, every once in a while, Doctor Who reminds us that, aliens, literally aliens, aren't always bad. And I suppose that, that's that crosses over with the fact that the Doctor is like, he represents, or she represents the best of us all. We don't have to be scared of the other. Yeah. But, Doctor Who stories where monsters are really evil are great. Actually, I must admit, even though I just said all that, I'm always disappointed in a Doctor Who story when the monster turns out to be actually really cute and friendly and misunderstood. I just want pure evil. I want Sutek. Ah, Sutek. Doctor Who is always there in our lives. There was never a time when Doctor Who was not in my life, because, you know, when I sort of gained sentience, or at least consciousness and sort of memory, I was like 3 or 4, probably watching Doctor Who, watching The Hand of Fear, Pyramids of Mars. Actually, when Doctor Who has been in your life, all of your life, it is almost a bit harder to take a step back from it and realize how special it is. And so that's why it's nice when we hit an anniversary like this to remind ourselves of how special the show is. But yeah, Doctor Who is always there for us. Even when new Doctor Who isn't being made, it's being made somewhere, you know, by various companies, but also, you know, TV Doctor Who is always there for us now, and it always will be on VHS, on cassette tape, on DVD or Blu-ray. Doctor Who is always there for us. And I don't know about you, but this year, I don't know about you, but I found it to be great comfort food for the eyes and ears, so to speak. You know, you can't beat going back in time with a bit of Doctor Who. And I guess that's kind of what I like to do with this channel as well. I've kind of changed the banner along the top of the homepage to, you know, let's go back through time, because that's kind of what most people's love of classic Doctor Who is all about, isn't it? It's kind of going back to those simpler times. You know, loads of stuff, great stuff has happened since and will happen again. But sometimes it's just nice to go back to, like, you know, 1977 or something like that and watch the invasion of time.
It's been a long, hard road, but at last, the future of Gallifrey is assured. What are you looking at?
Now, I should stress that those were just 5 of the reasons why I love Doctor Who. There are probably another 27 at least. And I really want to hear yours. Join me down in comments and let's talk about it. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might notice the increase in picture and audio quality in this wraparound segment. That's because my amazing supporters at Patreon have enabled me to buy a new camera, the Sony ZV-1. It's made for vlogging and I highly recommend it. So I'll put a link down there in the video description in case you want to buy one yourself. Speaking of my Patreon backers, here's a list of some of them right here. If you'd like to consider joining them and supporting this channel and helping it improve and grow, there's a link down in the video description. Thanks. Here, and also here, you'll see other Doctor Who videos that you might want to carry on watching. I hope you do. Thanks very much for watching this one, and I hope to see you next time. Don't forget to embrace your obsession.